prayed for a different life.
Soap. I make and I sell soap.
And this is how I met Tyler Durden.
Come on, hit me before I lose my nerve. Ow! It hit me in the ear!
Welcome to Top Countdown. In our list we will be looking for the top 10 best movies based on the IMBD ratings.
It's not strictly speaking legal.
Number 10. The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. The Good, the Bad and the Ugly is a 1966 Italian epic spaghetti western film directed by Sergio Leone and starring Clint Eastwood as the good, Lee Van Cleef as the bad, and Eli Wallach as the ugly. Its screenplay was written by H. Scarpelli, Luciano Vincenzoni, and Leone, with additional screenplay material and dialogue provided by an uncredited Sergio Donati, based on a story by Vincenzoni and Leone. Director of photography Tonino Dellicoli was responsible for the film's sweeping widescreen cinematography, and Ennio Morricone composed the film's score, including its main theme. It was an Italian-led production with co-producers in Spain, West Germany, and the United States. Most of the filming took place in Spain. Number 9. The Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring is a 2001 epic fantasy adventure film directed by Peter Jackson from a screenplay by Fran Walsh, Philippa Boyens, and Jackson, based on 1954 The Fellowship of the Ring, the first volume of the novel The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. The film is the first installment in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It features an ensemble cast including Elijah Wood, Ian Coven, Liv Tyler, Viggo Mortensen and many more. Set in Middle-earth, the story tells of the Dark Lord Sauron, who seeks the One Ring, which contains part of his soul, in order to return to power. The ring has found its way to the young hobbit Frodo Baggins. The fate of Middle-earth hangs in the balance as Frodo and 8 companions, who form the Fellowship of the Ring, begin their journey to Mount Doom in the land of Mordor, the only place where the ring can be destroyed. Number 8. Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction is a 1994 American black comedy crime film written and directed by Quentin Tarantino, who conceived it with Roger Avary, starring John Travolta, Samuel L. Jackson, Bruce Willis, Tim Roth, Ving Rhames, and Uma Thurman. It tells several stories of crime in Los Angeles. The title refers to the pulp magazines and hard-boiled crime novels popular during the mid-20th century. Known for their graphic violence and punchy dialogue, Pulp Fiction is widely regarded as Tarantino's masterpiece, with particular praise for its screenwriting, the self-reflexivity, unconventional structure, and extensive homage and pastiche have led critics to describe it as a touchstone of postmodern film. Number 7. The Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King is a 2003 epic fantasy adventure film directed by Peter Jackson from a screenplay by Fran Walsh, Philippa Boyens, and Jackson, based on 1955's The Return of the King, the third volume of the novel The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. The sequel to 2002's The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. The film is the final installment in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It features an ensemble cast including Elijah Wood, Ian Coven, Liv Tyler, Viggo Mortensen, Sean Astin and many others. Number 6. Schindler's List. Schindler's List is a 1993 American epic historical drama film directed and produced by Steven Spielberg and written by Stephen Salian. It is based on the 1982 non-fiction novel Schindler's Ark by Australian novelist Thomas Keneally. The film follows Oskar Schindler, a German industrialist who saved more than 1,000 mostly Polish Jewish refugees from the Holocaust by employing them in his factories during World War II. It stars Liam Neeson as Schindler, Ralph Fiennes as SS officer Amon Goth, and Ben Kingsley as Schindler's Jewish accountant Itzhak Stern. Number 5. 12 Angry Men. 12 Angry Men is a 1957 American courtroom drama film directed by Sidney Lumet, adapted from a 1954 teleplay of the same name by Reginald Rose. The film tells the story of a jury of 12 men as they deliberate the conviction or acquittal of an 18-year-old defendant on the basis of reasonable doubt. Disagreement and conflict among them force the jurors to question their morals and values. It stars Henry Fonda, who also produced the film with Reginald Rose, Lee Jacob, Ed Begley, E.G. Marshall, and Jack Warden. Number 4. The Godfather Part 2. The Godfather Part 2 is a 1974 American epic crime film produced and directed by Francis Ford Coppola. The film is partially based on the 1969 novel The Godfather by Mario Puzo, who co-wrote the screenplay with Coppola. Part 2 serves as both a sequel and a prequel to the 1972 film The Godfather, presenting parallel dramas. One picks up the 1958 story of Michael Corleone, Al Pacino, the new dawn of the Corleone family, protecting the family business in the aftermath of an attempt on his life. The prequel covers the journey of his father, Vito Corleone, Robert De Niro, from his Sicilian childhood to the founding of his family enterprise in New York City.
The Godfather Part 2.
Number 3. The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight is a 2008 superhero film directed by Christopher Nolan from a screenplay he co-wrote with his brother Jonathan. Based on the DC Comics superhero Batman, it is the sequel to Batman Begins, 2005, and the second installment in the Dark Knight trilogy. The film follows the vigilante Batman, Police Lieutenant James Gordon, and District Attorney Harvey Dent as they form an alliance to dismantle organized crime in Gotham City. Their efforts are derailed by the intervention of the Joker, an anarchistic mastermind who seeks to test how far Batman will go to save the city from complete chaos. The ensemble cast includes Christian Bale, Michael Caine, Heath Ledger, Gary Oldman, Aaron Eckhart, Maggie Gyllenhaal, and Morgan Freeman.
Gentlemen, we're tonight's entertainment.
Number 2. The Godfather. The Godfather is a 1972 American crime film directed by Francis Ford Coppola, who co-wrote the screenplay with Mario Puzo, based on Puzo's best-selling 1969 novel of the same name. The film stars Marlon Brando, Al Pacino, James Caan, Richard Castellano, and so on. It is the first installment in the Godfather trilogy. The story, spanning from 1945 to 1955, chronicles the Corleone family under Patriarch Vito Corleone. Brando, focusing on the transformation of his youngest son, Michael Corleone. Pacino, from reluctant family outsider to ruthless mafia boss.
I never wanted this for you.
Number 1. The Shawshank Redemption. The Shawshank Redemption is a 1994 American drama film written and directed by Frank Darabont, based on the 1982 Stephen King novella Rita Hayworth and Shawshank Redemption. It tells the story of banker Andy Dufresne, Tim Robbins, who was sentenced to life in Shawshank State Penitentiary for the murders of his wife and her lover, despite his claims of innocence. Over the following 2 decades, he befriends a fellow prisoner, contraband smuggler Ellis Redratting, Morgan Freeman, and becomes instrumental in a money laundering operation led by the prison warden Samuel Norton, Bob Gunton, William Sadler, Clancy Brown, Gil Bellows, and James Whitmore appear in supporting roles. Which is your top 1 movie? Let me know in the comments. For more videos like this, subscribe and push that notification bell for more updates.